Hello everybody, Derpy Sheep here. We're back with another episode of Wynncraft Wednesdays, and today we're going to be talking about this new weapon, Blossom Haze. Now if you don't know what Blossom Haze is, it's a brand new dagger from the 1.20 update with a brand new major ID, cherry bombs. And what that does is make your smoke bombs explode instantly. It does less damage, but you can use it as an actual damaging spell, and you can like spam and stuff. So in this week's episode, I'm going to be testing it and seeing, is it worth using this weapon? Is this weapon worth, is the major ID all that it seems to be cracked up to be? We're going to be pitting it up against an earth-powdered slider, just because it's a good base damage weapon. But yeah, we're going to be pitting these two up against each other and see which one does more damage. Let's get into it. So today, we're going to be testing out this new weapon, Blossom Haze, and it's got this new major ID called Cherry Bombs, and it makes it so your smoke bombs explode instantly. So if I go right, left to do a smoke bomb, they just blow up. It does less damage, but it's instantaneous. So the real question is, well, is it going to be worth it, Is this major ID worth it? I mean, it's a low-level dagger with not raw damage, so will it be worth it? So for this test, I'm going to be using Blossom Haze with two tier 6 earths against a slider with 3 tier 6 earths. So Earth Slider versus Blossom Haze. And so I figured Slider would be a good baseline to test the damage up against. I just got it's an average slider, decent neutral spell for damage wise. And this one, decent earth damage. So overall, these two are both mediocre when it comes to stats, so the stats shouldn't be get in the way too much. But we're testing, is the smoke bombs going to be worth using smoke bombs, or is it just going to be worth it, using spin attack with slider all the time? So for my tests, I've decided I'm going to be here in Deathless, killing these dummies, and each one of these has 500,000 health. I'm going to test how long it takes me to kill each one, going all out with a decent spell cycle. Of course, this won't be what you'll be doing against bosses because healing up and stuff, but this is just for pure damage testing. So let's get on into our first test. Okay, so for our first test, we're going to be using Slider as a base, and we're just going to try to kill this test dummy here. So I'm going to get a timer set up on my phone here so we can test it. Alright. And I've decided to start the timer the moment I cast my first damaging spell. So I'm going to get Smoke Bomb and start. So now we're... Alright, so I just stopped the timer, and it was about 36 seconds that it took me to kill this test dummy right here. So, I'm thinking I'm going to do 3 tests, take the average score out of all 3 tests, and base it off of that, and I can calculate the DPS when using spell cycles after that. So let's get into our, I'm going to quickly do our next 2 tests for Slider, and I'll get back to you when I'm done. So I did my first 3 tests with Slider, and my averages were 36, then 50, then 40. So let's see how that pairs up against this new weapon, Blossom Haze, and we could test, is it really worth it, at least damage-wise? We can talk about survivability later, but right now we're just talking about damage. So I'm going to quickly work on these, and let's see how we do. Alright guys, so I just got done testing out my this new weapon, Blossom Haze, and I got 38, 46, and 38. The average is 40.66 seconds, so 40 and 2/3 of a second. So from the tests, yes, it actually does do a little bit more than Slider. But I do think that I did some flawed runs on both accounts, so I kind of do want to do some new tests, retry this again. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do another test from both of these weapons and see how long it takes both of the weapons. Just one more test and kind of see how this reflects now that I got some more got the spell cycles down a little bit better. So I'm gonna do that, and I'll come back to you when I'm done. Alright, so for this one on with Slider, I just got 30 seconds, and that's a lot better than before. So I think I was doing something wrong with the spell cycles. But now I'm going to be testing out Blossom Haze again, and kind of seeing how this does on this time through. Maybe test will be a little bit different. Alright, let's get on into it. Okay, so this took almost 10 seconds longer this time through. That took me about 40 seconds, which is the average that took me before with Blossom Haze. So maybe my first couple runs were just a fluke with Slider. So yeah, Blossom Haze did kind of get destroyed this last run by Slider, so maybe Blossom Haze isn't quite as good as it's cracked up to be. Now this is just DPS on a test dummy, so it might be different outside of test dummies, of course, with boss fights and stuff. So I'll leave that testing to you guys. You guys try this out if you want to. Let me know in the comments what your results were. But as for me, I found that Earth Slider is actually better. I'm actually not all that surprised. I was kind of expecting that, but I was hoping for Blossom Haze to actually be good because it's a cool major ID. But one thing I have learned is that they are actually pretty close in damage. Slider does a bit more, but Blossom Haze still is viable to use at a high level. So if you want to use it, you can use it. I wouldn't say don't use Blossom Haze, but Earth Slider does more damage. So yeah, those were my results. If you guys did enjoy though, please hit that subscribe button. Also like the video. Anyway, Derpy Sheep out.